Have you ever noticed how many men and women who serve God with all their hearts live facing extreme financial difficulties? People who fast, pray, and seek a life of holiness, yet still cannot get out of tight spots. It seems strange, even unfair, but there is a much deeper reason behind this situation. While the world celebrates those who live far from God's principles and still prosper, the chosen ones follow a more difficult path. This doesn't happen by chance. There is a divine purpose hidden in this financial struggle that few can truly see. God works differently with those He has set apart for great missions. Before handing over great responsibilities, He shapes the inner person. He teaches patience, strengthens faith, and breaks any dependency on the wealth of this world. For the chosen ones, scarcity is part of the training, not a sign of abandonment. Many interpret difficulty as a sign of disapproval, as if God were punishing or had forgotten them. But the truth is the opposite. God uses scarcity as a tool to forge a strong, resilient, and completely dependent heart on Him. Each day of struggle is, in fact, a silent construction for the future. The absence of resources, in many cases, is protection. God prevents blessings from arriving before the right time. He knows that what seems like a gain, if it comes without maturity, can turn into ruin. Out of love, He withholds what you ask for today in order to deliver what you truly need at the appropriate moment. The financial battle of the chosen ones is not just about money. It is a school of trust, humility, and resilience. It is where one learns that the true value of life lies not in what one accumulates, but in who one becomes. It is where faith proves true, and eyes are adjusted to what is eternal. If today you feel overwhelmed by difficulties, know that it is not a sign of rejection. It is a sign that you are being prepared to carry something much greater than any material achievement. The path is narrower, but the destination is infinitely better. Stay with me until the end and discover how to transform this phase of struggle into the foundation of your true prosperity. And be sure to follow our channel, because together we will unveil the secrets of the calling of the chosen ones. When the lack of money tightens and the doors seem closed, it is natural for fear to try to settle in. Concerns about bills, livelihood, and the future begin to shout within the mind. But for the chosen ones, scarcity carries a greater purpose. It is a school of full trust in God. It is very easy to trust in God when everything is abundant. Easy to give thanks when the salary is sufficient, when opportunities knock at the door, when dreams come true. But what about when everything is lacking? When the sky seems like bronze and each day is a struggle to survive? That's when true faith is tested. Scarcity exposes what is hidden deep in the heart. It shows whether our security is in God or in the resources He may give. It shows whether we love God for who He is or only for what we expect to receive from Him. It is in those moments of crisis that the foundation of our faith is revealed. God knows exactly what He is doing. When He allows the chosen ones to go through times of need, He is removing the crutches. He is teaching that our provision does not come from jobs, people, or investments. Our provision comes from heaven. It comes from Him and only from Him. In the desert, the people of Israel could not accumulate anything. Each day, God sent the manna in just the right measure. If they tried to store it for the next day, it rotted. The objective was clear: to teach daily dependence. God was training them to live trusting in Him at every step, without trying to control tomorrow. This is the same lesson He teaches the chosen ones today. He breaks the illusion that we can guarantee the future. He calls us to live one day at a time, looking to Him, trusting that tomorrow the bread will come, just as it came today. This trust is more precious than gold. Walking by faith means trusting without having all the answers. It means following even when we do not understand the reason for the delay. It means believing that God is working, even when the situation seems to say otherwise. This kind of faith is rare, and it is exactly what God wants to forge in you. Each day of scarcity is an opportunity to grow spiritually. Every no you face strengthens your faith muscles. Every prayer made in tears is an additional brick in the construction of an unshakable character. God is not punishing you. He is shaping you for something much greater. The lack of resources teaches us humility. It reminds us that we are not self-sufficient. It keeps us grounded, aware that without God, we can do nothing. And a humble heart is fertile ground for great harvests. God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Full trust in God does not arise from theory. It arises from necessity. It flourishes in the deserts of life, where all we can do is lift our eyes and say, "Lord, I trust you, even if today I don't see a way out." This kind of trust changes destinies. The phase of scarcity is not eternal. It is a season of preparation, a season where God builds something that no one can take away from you. A firm heart, a faith that is not shaken, an identity that does not get corrupted in the face of the abundance that will come afterward. If today everything seems to be collapsing, remember, you are not being defeated. You are being trained. God is forming within you the capacity to trust Him without reservations. And those who learn to trust in the desert are ready to inherit the promised land. Stay strong. Do not give up. The training is tough, but the result is eternal. God is writing a beautiful story with your life, and each chapter of scarcity is, in fact, the preparation for the greatest of miracles. In times of abundance, it is easy to say that we trust in God. When everything is going well, thanking and maintaining faith seems natural. But when resources disappear and life gets tight, what really governs our heart comes to the surface. Scarcity is like a mirror. It shows what we can hide in good times. Lack reveals where we place our true security. It shows whether we trust in God or in our bank balance, whether our faith is in the provision or in the provider. Many only realize how attached they were to the blessings when they cease to arrive. And it is in that emptiness that God works to restore first love. God does not need us to have wealth to prove His love. What He wants is for us to love Him regardless of circumstances, for us to desire Him for who He is, and not just for the gifts He can give. Scarcity silently but profoundly tests that motivation. Many serve God while everything is favorable. But true faithfulness is tested when the answer takes time, when the bills are delayed, when the ground seems to crumble. It is there in adversity that it is proven who seeks the face of God and who was only seeking His hand. The example of Job teaches us a lot about this. He lost everything he had, children, possessions, health, but he did not lose his faith. Even amidst pain, Job declared that God is still worthy. That is the heart God desires to find in every chosen one, a love that withstands loss. Scarcity purifies our faith. It separates self-interest from true love. It leads us to ask difficult questions. Would I follow God even if He never gave me anything else? Does my worship depend on blessings, or is it the result of a real relationship? These answers define the destiny of our hearts. God does not test us to destroy us. He tests us to strengthen us. He allows the test to free us from wrong loves, hidden dependencies, silent idolatries. The desert exposes everything that needs to be dealt with before the promise is fulfilled. Each moment of scarcity is an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment, to declare with our lives that God is enough, that our hope is not in circumstances but in Him. This spiritual maturity is rare, but it is what prepares the chosen ones to carry greater responsibilities. If today you feel that everything is being shaken, remember, God is not destroying you. He is revealing you. He is showing where your heart needs to be more firmly established, and that firmness will be your greatest treasure when abundance finally arrives. Accept the process. Allow scarcity to heal your heart, because a heart completely dependent on God is unshakable. And it is with that kind of heart that the chosen ones conquer what eyes have not yet seen and what no mind has ever been able to imagine. Not every delay is a punishment. Many times, God is preserving us from receiving something that, in our current state, could destroy us. Great blessings require great maturity. An unprepared heart can turn an achievement into a reason for falling. God knows this. That's why He prepares us before delivering. If God were to put everything you ask for today into your hands, would it bring you closer to Him or push you away? Scarcity teaches us to grow internally. It teaches us not to be dominated by pride, vanity, or the false security that material abundance can bring. It's a training that few understand at first. Imagine a child receiving something that requires adult responsibility. It would be disastrous. The same happens in the spiritual kingdom. God holds back certain blessings because He is working first on your inside. He wants you to have the structure to maintain, multiply, and use what has been promised in a holy way when you receive it. The prodigal son in the biblical parable asked for his inheritance before the time. He received it, but quickly squandered everything. His lack of maturity caused the blessing to become a reason for his downfall. God does not want that for His chosen ones. He prefers to hold the inheritance until the character is solid enough to sustain it. Maturity is not formed in easy days. It is born in difficult days, in days when we remain faithful, even without receiving what we expect. Waiting shapes patience. Lack cultivates humility. Struggle teaches self-control. Each difficult phase is a silent preparation for what God has already reserved. A mature heart understands that God is the greatest treasure, not the blessings He can give. A mature heart knows how to manage victory without losing itself in it. God is building that capacity in you right now, even if the process seems slow or painful. Being approved by God is more important than being promoted by circumstances. And being approved goes through the test of time, patience, and faith. God is forming deep roots in you so that when the blessing arrives, you remain steadfast, not being swept away by the winds of vanity. If it seems today that life is stuck, that the answers are not coming, remember, God is taking care of your heart. He is preparing you to carry something much greater than simple riches. He is preparing you to carry purpose, responsibility, and eternal impact. Trust the process. Accept the training. Each day of scarcity is forming in you a heart capable of bearing the weight of the glory that is to come. You are not rejected. You are being shaped. And God never wastes the suffering of a heart that continues to trust in Him. Many times, what you face in the financial field is not just natural. There is an invisible war happening. Those chosen by God carry a mark, and that mark is perceived in the spiritual world. Therefore, it is no surprise that so many battles try to hinder your growth and advancement. The enemy knows the power you carry. He knows that if your hands prosper, you will be a channel of transformation for many lives. You would not use the blessing just for yourself, but to fulfill greater purposes. That's why there is an intense struggle trying to keep you trapped in scarcity. This war does not manifest obviously. Sometimes it appears in opportunities that do not materialize, in doors that seem open but suddenly close, in projects that collapse without explanation. The natural world feels the impact of a struggle that occurs beyond what we can see. The main goal of this war is to shake your faith. The enemy wants you to doubt God's choice. He wants you to think that you have been forgotten. He wants to convince you that nothing you do has value. If he can undermine your confidence, he will have succeeded in delaying the manifestation of your purpose. The Bible warns us that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against evil spiritual forces. The problem you see in your daily life is just the surface. There are battles fought in the invisible, trying to make you stop, retreat, and give up on what God has placed in your heart. Each prayer made in the midst of pain is an arrow shot in this war. Each time you choose to worship, even while crying, it is a victory in the spiritual field. Persisting in trust, even without seeing, is a declaration of faith that shakes hell and moves heaven in your favor. God never lets a chosen one fight alone. He sends his angels to battle for you. He strengthens your spirit to resist the evil days. He renews your hope when everything seems lost. Even when you feel weak, it is his power that sustains you and keeps you standing. Scarcity, in this context, is a desperate attempt to prevent you from moving forward. But for those who remain steadfast, it transforms into training for victory. What was meant to be your defeat, God uses to strengthen your hands for war and your fingers for battle. Remember David. Before defeating giants, he had to fight lions and bears in anonymity. The invisible battles prepare you for public victories. Do not despise the days of silent struggle. They are forming a spiritual warrior that the world will still come to know. The lack that today tries to paralyze you will in the future be your testimony. You will recount how you overcame, how you remained faithful, how you trusted even without apparent reasons. And your story will inspire others who are also fighting invisible battles. You are not alone in this war. The God who chose you is also the God who fights alongside you. No matter how fierce the battle seems, the victory has already been decreed on the cross. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from the victory that has already been achieved. Stay strong. Do not give in to discouragement. Each day you resist, each prayer you make, each act of faith you practice weakens the forces that try to stop you. You are chosen, you are protected, and in due time, your victory will be manifested for the glory of God. Most people desire prosperity. They dream of abundance and financial freedom, but few are prepared to handle it without losing themselves. God knows the human heart. He knows that riches without maturity can become invisible chains. That's why, before giving, he prepares. And often, that preparation comes through scarcity. Scarcity teaches us to value the essentials. It teaches us to distinguish between what is a real need and what is just a passing desire. When you learn to live with little, you discover how to be grateful, how to be creative, how to be faithful. These lessons are fundamental for those who will be entrusted with much. When we have little, we are forced to make more conscious choices. We are compelled to plan better, to think before acting, to seek divine direction in every decision. This kind of discipline does not arise in times of abundance. It is born in daily battles, when every cent, every opportunity, every decision matters. God is forming a wise steward in you. Someone who knows how to multiply resources but will never allow money to govern their heart. A chosen one who uses blessings as tools to serve, not as trophies to flaunt. A child who understands that what they have comes from God and is for His glory. Scarcity also teaches true generosity. Those who have experienced need understand the pain of others. When God begins to prosper, a heart trained in lack, that heart becomes generous. It extends a hand without pride. It helps without expecting anything in return. This is one of the most precious riches that God wants to form. Being prosperous is easy, but being prosperous and remaining holy is rare. God is not just interested in putting money in your hands. He is interested in building an unshakable character within you. A character that will remain firm, even surrounded by abundance and opportunities to stray. David learned to care for sheep before he governed a kingdom. In anonymity, he was trained in responsibility, care, and patience. So it is with you. God is using the little you manage today to prepare you for much more tomorrow. And what seems small today is in fact a great school. If you feel that you are still in the desert of scarcity, do not be discouraged. Do not see this time as a delay, but as God's investment in your future. He is building solid foundations, deep roots, so that when prosperity comes, it does not steal your purpose or destroy your faith. Trust the process. Scarcity is temporary, but what you are learning in it will be eternal. God does not waste any tear, any tightening, any lesson. Everything is being used to prepare you for something much greater than you can imagine. Sometimes, what seems like a delay is in fact protection. God sees what our eyes cannot see. He knows the hidden dangers and paths that seem promising. Out of love, He holds back blessings that could become traps if they arrived before the right time. Wealth is a blessing, but it can also be a subtle trap. If the heart is not prepared, it generates pride, independence, and distance from God. What begins as an achievement can turn into a prison. God, knowing our fragility, acts to protect the chosen ones from these invisible risks. How many doors that you so desired were closed out of pure mercy? How many opportunities that seemed perfect disappeared because they would bring more pain than joy in the future? God, in His infinite love, prevents what would destroy us from reaching our hands. The desert is often a wall of protection. While we are being shaped in scarcity, God guards us from traps we could not withstand. He prefers to see us maturing in faith and dependence than to see us growing quickly and falling into spiritual disgrace. The Bible teaches that a blessing obtained without wisdom is easily lost. God wants what He gives you to last. He wants it to be solid, founded on eternal principles, not on passing impulses. That's why He takes His time, not because He has forgotten, but because He is ensuring that you can withstand what is to come. Scarcity also protects us from bad alliances. When we are in need, we are tempted to accept any proposal, to make any partnership. But God intervenes. He prevents wrong ties from being formed. He prevents dangerous connections from being established. The waiting time is often a time of separation. If today it seems that life is stagnant, that doors are not opening, do not despair. Perhaps you are being spared from pains you cannot even imagine yet. Perhaps God is holding your blessing so that it comes clean, without traps, without hidden risks. God works in silence. While you pray and do not see answers, He is acting in areas you may not even be aware of. He is removing people from your path, diverting traps, blocking dangerous roads. All to ensure that when you move forward, you walk in safety. Trust in God's protection, even when it manifests as a delay. He is not delaying your life. He is saving you from losing your way. He is preserving your calling, your heart, your eternity. He knows exactly what He is doing, even if you do not understand yet. What God has for you is good, perfect, and pleasant. But it is delivered at the right time, not before. Wait patiently. Wait in faith. Because what comes from God comes complete. And when it arrives, you will understand that every wait was worth it. God did not call you just to accumulate wealth. His purpose goes beyond the accumulation of goods. You were set apart to transform lives, to impact generations, to be light in times of darkness. What God has for you is eternal, not limited to what money can buy. The scarcity you face today is aligning your vision with what really matters. God is adjusting your heart so that when the resources arrive, they do not steal your essence. He wants you to be so focused on the kingdom that abundance comes as a consequence, not as your main goal. Seeking the kingdom first is the key. When this priority is established, all other things begin to align. God promises to supply your needs. But before that, He shapes your character, your mission, your ability to use resources for something much greater than your own benefit. You are not broken. You are being forged. Every struggle, every scarcity, every day of waiting is building within you a strong, wise, and free heart. A heart that, when it receives the blessing, will know exactly how to use it for the glory of God and the benefit of many. What seems like a delay is just preparation. What seems like silence is intense work in the invisible. God is raising up a chosen one who will not sell themselves for riches. A chosen one who will live to transform the world around them with love, faith, and generosity. Stay strong. Do not allow the current scenario to steal your hope. God is paving a path of achievements that go far beyond what you imagined. Your calling is eternal. Your destiny is glorious, and at the right time, abundance will come. But your heart will be so anchored in God that nothing can corrupt it. If this message has touched your heart, stay with us. Follow our channel to receive more content that strengthens your faith, reveals your purpose, and helps you walk as the true chosen one that God has called you to be.